My name is Helen Hickman. I'm Secretary of Northampton Town Supporters Trust. Right, in the 91-92 season, Northampton Town had been taken over by a businessman, shall we call him, and it was clear that things weren't going as they should do. Lots of rumours, this always happens at this time. It came to a head sort of December, January 91-92, and so in January 1992 a meeting was called, organised by Brian, for the supporters at least to discuss the issues, because there was no forum, no vehicle other than the local paper reporting it. There was no supporters' voice to be heard. So the initial meeting at the Exeter Rooms in January 1992 was what started Northampton Town Supporters Trust, which is the original, as we say, we're the original trust. I didn't go to that one because I had chicken pox, believe it or not, but I went to the subsequent ones, and like pulling together as a whole, you can, get the funds together, you can give five and it all collectively makes a difference. And so in 1992 the club went into administration, and because Brian had been voted as chair of the trust, he was invited onto the board with an idea of steering Northampton Town Football Club in the correct direction, and sort of recognising the problems in the past and hopefully solving them in the future. The consequence of Brian's involvement meant we moved stadiums. We moved from the county ground to Sixfields in 1994. We got to 2 Wembley finals in 97 and 98, and the club looked rosy. In 1999, Brian stepped down from NTFC board and from the trust because he wanted to speak to the Labour government, as it was then, to try and promote this way of the supporters having involvement across the whole of the country. It worked in Northampton, could work on other sports, and as is not just football, rugby league, anything. And so he campaigned to the Labour government, and that's when Supporters Direct was born, was it, in 2000, and he was chair and heavily involved. He was always a committed Cobblers fan, season ticket holder, would just sit with the ordinary fans in the stadium or stand on the hotel end, as it was then. His passion was Northampton Town Football Club, and he's always been an inspirational figure for us, because cometh the hour, cometh the man, and it did. In 1991-92, Brian Lomax stepped forward and led us supporters to be able to save Northampton Town. And when I became secretary, I never thought that I'd be in a position where I'd be battling collection buckets at Sixfields, but 2015 we were just in that situation. Yet again we were facing oblivion, and it was when Brian passed away, and that in a way sort of helped us to push on further, because we do it in his memory and his legacy. He's a very good orator, could stir up emotions, could galvanise supporters together, because in a supporter space you've got a lot of opinions, a lot of different characters, different personalities, but he was always somebody you'd listen to, and that became clear in 2015, because I think the mass supporters didn't know what was happening with Brian, but we at the trust did, and they're going, well, why can't, we want Brian to speak to us, we need Brian to sort of lift us up. So we do things in his memory and his legacy, and even at board decisions, we took a decision this when we'd had to do it the right way that Brian would want us to do it.
He knew? Probably not.
No, he worked in something called the Mayday Trust, and that was successful, and he took that plan to save us, and I think that was so successful that it probably became clear to him. But initially I think his overriding aim was to save Northampton Town Football Club, but then that had the knock-on effect that, well, we're here today with how many football clubs are represented. The last couple of years was saving the club in 2015-16. It was quite different, because we sat at the bottom of the stairs at Sixfields taking your membership. We ran out of forms, and the staff of the football club printed us new ones, because we weren't just working with the supporters, we were working with the players and the non-playing staff and the community at large. And it's still rumbling on. It's not solved. There's still issues, and now we're trying to act as intermediaries between the football club and the borough council to get the development of the East Stand progressed, because that's a clear indication of where the club was in 2015. It is male dominated. I don't know, certain the facilities, you generally go to grounds and there's like 2 toilets, so it's as basic as that, and they don't really, you see them in and out door and they don't have to queue. It's as basic as that really, but you get the women's, that's usually, you get to know who's come to the game with you, because you chat in the line, but there's usually 2 or 3 ladies toilets. It's as basic as that really. Managers come and go, players come and go, owners come and go, the fan base is a constant. You get supporters who moan. If you want something done, join the body that can. You can moan all you like, but it's not going to be any effectual if you don't do something positive to progress what your gripe is, to get it solved. And I think by joining the trust, you can do that. It's not like the supporters club where you all meet and it's a social. It's the other side of it. It's campaigning, being having a watchful presence over how the club is run and maintained. It's a really good way of understanding the issues.